Well, chances are you're making plenty of plans, of course, for the holiday season. Going to be spending time with friends, family, all kinds of loved ones. But for families living with disabilities, the season can sometimes be a stressful and isolating one at times.
Well, whether you're hosting a huge crowd or an intimate get-together, some small considerations can help everyone feel included in all of the holiday fun. Katie Warden is the director of the Northwest ADA Center. She joins us this morning with some advice to help your holiday plans. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I think this is an often overlooked topic. I have to be honest, I haven't always, thought, okay, is what I'm planning or what I'm wanting to do going to be easy for everyone in my life to enjoy? So let's talk about some of the ways that we can make people with disabilities feel more included at holiday gatherings. Let's talk about first just visible disabilities, things you can often see.
Yeah, great question. And thanks for sharing that. That's a pretty typical experience that we're not always thinking about people with disabilities when we plan events, big ones or small ones. And so the Americans with Disabilities Act, it gives us some guidelines on how to make our events, our spaces more accessible. And so one of the key things we want to always keep in mind is physical accessibility. So when you're hosting an event, whether it's at your home or out in the public, you can think about, are there accessible parking spaces for people who need a wheelchair van accessible parking spot? Are they going to be able to park at your event? And then can they get from the parking space into your event space? So are there accessible routes, accessible doors? Those are really important considerations. And then thinking about how people move through space inside the event, being really aware of and flexible when people move differently than we might expect, and adjusting to that as people are participating.
And awareness is that key word. To your point, Emily, if it's not something that you're maybe as cognizant of in your day-to-day life, just, opening your mind to what that may be like for people with those, again, in that case, visible disabilities. Let's talk about invisible disabilities. What does that look like? And what does that term actually mean?
Yeah, okay, another great question. So the ADA defines disability really broadly. And it includes people who have conditions that we don't often think of as disabilities. And conditions that you can't see, you can't tell that someone has them. So it protects people who have diabetes, like myself, for example, or people who have cancer, people who have developmental disabilities like autism, people who have mental health conditions like anxiety and depression. So under the ADA, people with those conditions all have protection from discrimination. And we oftentimes, you can't tell or see that those people have disabilities. And so it's so important to remember that we can't assume who is disabled and who isn't. You don't really know until you get to know a person.
That's a great point, Katie. So I think a lot of people may feel hesitant asking anyone, ahead of time, like, hey, how can I make this easy for you? Because they don't want to draw attention to something or make someone feel uncomfortable. But is that a question that you should bring up? Maybe asking your guests, hey, I'm planning this type of event. What are some ways to maybe make this more comfortable for you?
Absolutely. So that's something the law recommends, that we make sure that there's a space, I don't know, on a save the date flyer or invitation for people to ask for accommodations. And people with disabilities, they really know best what they need to access a space. And so having some kind of opportunity for people to say, I'd love to attend, but I need to attend at a different time. Can we, be flexible in our timing here? Or I have an allergy and I need to make sure that the food at the event is not going to cause a reaction. So it's definitely a good idea to be proactive and to ask people what they need to participate.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, Katie, I do want to ask about Northwest ADA Center. Obviously, you're around all year. It's not just a holiday operation. How can people, find support from Northwest ADA, and where can they find that information if they want to reach out?
Yeah, so we have a website. You can Google us, the Northwest ADA Center. You'll find our website. And we also have a hotline. It's 1-800-949-4232. And you can call us and ask any questions. If you're hosting an event and you're not quite sure how to make it accessible or inclusive, We answer questions about the ADA for free all the time. That's what we're here to do.
It's a really great resource. Katie, thanks for your time this morning. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you so much.
And again, that website, if you want to learn more about the Northwest ADA Center, it is nwadacenter.org.